Previously
Is that something you
on the
speak
Harry
about?
Hines Effect with Earl Blackphone and the Woman of the Night,
I
Danica
can
Baby.
control the situation, so I have no remorse or no personal feeling about talking about what has happened to me.
Okay.
It happened.
Okay.
So my father, this fucked up too. Listen to this. My father, he touched me when I was about 9 years old. He got in a really bad accident at school because he was a teacher. He was abandoned many times. I grew up in the church.
Mm-hmm.
My father was a single father from birth. All I remember is my dad. It was me, my two brothers, and they were younger than me.
Right.
He's strict man, like iron all your clothes for school on Sunday type father, you know.
Right.
Dinner at 8, prayer, bed.
Sound like a regular father,
Regular
a
father.
traditional
He's a great father.
good man.
He's
Yeah.
a great father, honestly. If you want, people ask me all the time, well, why do you forget that man? Because until that incident,
What was
he
that
was a great
incident?
father.
Let's go back to that
when
incident.
I was 9 years old, my father touched me. I guess the term would be molested me.
Right.
And I didn't tell on him. What happened was it's like he wanted to stop doing it. So he called my mom and he sent me to live with my mom.
Right. Okay. He had a problem.
He had a problem. And my mom turned out to be a very horrible person at that time. You know, she had multiple pens. She had a gambling addiction. So I went from a very structured home, honor roll student to being with my mom who was trying to sell me to pimps.
Right.
You know, and my dad had got very mad. He wanted to take me back. And at the same time that he's finding this stuff out, how my mom's home was, my sister had got my diary, and I'm a kid, so I write in a diary, you know. And my sister had said, "No, Mom, she can't go back to her dad's because look," and showed her the diary.
Right. Was this a younger sister or older sister? Older sister.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and she showed her the diary, and my mom actually didn't give a fuck. My mom was like, "Yeah, whatever, fuck that shit," you know. But my stepdad, whom I also call dad because he's been around just as long.
Right.
My stepdad looked at my mom and was like, "Bitch, you don't motherfucker call the police. I'll beat your ass." Like he's a respectable man. This is how my dad talk. My stepdad, he don't talk like this. He's a surgeon. He don't talk like this. Like, but he went up for bat for me. He said, "That's your daughter." Like, called the police.
Called
you know?
the fucking police.
But this is what's fucked up is because my mom was a really fucked up person. I would have rather been with my dad.
You would have rather been with your dad.
Because I would have had a career, you know,
Yeah.
I would have, you know, I had options, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, I would have endured abuse.
So really, you didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice.
As far as where you came from, you didn't
No.
have a choice.
No.
And that goes back to the conversation we were having off camera when you kind of shaped a perspective, because I'm a pretty knowledgeable guy. I'm a pretty well-rounded guy, and I'm heavy on my perspective. But I love when my perspective is challenged because I've never had to endure these type of issues.
Most
I'm
people
50
have it, and
yeah.
that's why when I was telling you off camera, you know, it's like a Lifetime movie because we tell people these things, you know, they're pretty horrific.
Yeah.
You know, and then when they see my demeanor to it, you know, it's like almost nonchalant. But when I speak on the things I've endured, you do realize this is like the billionth one, you know.
So you
It's
know
just
people
like,
are feeling sorry for you. What do you have to say to people that are feeling sorry for you?
Man.
Are thinking she could be doing so much more with her life? Why? Because you are college. You have a college degree.
Yeah, my stepdad says all the time. You know, he says he got a master's and look what you're doing. And you know, he makes little comments about it. But I went through psychic evaluations. You know, I've had battles with the state. You know, I've tried some big dogs. And I went and had psychic evaluations with people who've got their master's degree. You know what? I swear for Jesus, on my dead grandma, Jessie Mae Williams, the psychiatrist told me, with all the trauma you've endured, you should be smoking crack right now.
Right.
He said, I have patients that have not experienced trauma, but the thought of experiencing the trauma has led them down wrong paths. He said, and they challenged this report, so I had to go back to the same psychologist and get this report again. And the second report, he said, with what you've endured and what you've been through, I am amazed. Like, you have overexceeded anybody's Like, you know,
Right.
I know I'm gifted
Right.
because there's nobody like me that could endure all this trauma
Right.
and still seek success and still be on the path that, and still smile and still, you know,
Yeah.
be as innovative. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about.
Right.
There's no way. And that's why I don't get jealous. You know, if anyone has it, they can never have it like me.
Right.
If anybody, you know, like, because I take shit and it turns into gold.
Right.
You know, if I want it, I'm going to have it. Like, that theory.
It has created a relentlessness in you that is just undying.
It's like, I don't even like to sleep. You know what I mean? Because how can I afford to sleep?
Yeah.
You know, there's like, I don't want to waste any time because it's not promised. You know,
Yeah.
I really specifically plan for a future because tomorrow's not promised. I specifically plan for the immediate, and that may go maybe a week, out a week, a stretch.
Okay.
You know, months. You know.
So if I was to pause you right there, you said the way you play for a king looking at a queen, that part concerns me. The way you play. So on these streets, it's a dirty game. Everybody's lying. Nobody's telling the truth. And everybody has an ulterior motive. How do you survive? Like what is the play between you and somebody that's trying to make a play? And if I want to get flat-footed, what do you call somebody that's petition? Are they called tricks? What are they called? What?
So like a client.
A client. Let's say client because we are professional.
So I call them Tammys. You know, a lot of motherfuckers gonna steal this word because my tricks, you can't say trick out, you know, public. So I call them Tammys, my Tammys.
Tammys.
But my clients be some of my best friends.
Okay.